gameplay, bringing you the most explosive gaming review on the planet.
Yo, throughout the years, Sega has had a number of long-standing franchises, with the obvious one being the lovable blue hedgehog Sonic. However, in my personal opinion, another one of their most beloved franchise is Yakuza series of games. A third-person action beat-em-up sandbox game where you take part in the most infamous triad gang in Japan, the Yakuza. I'm gonna give my personal opinion whether it's worth buying at this time of day or staying well clear of. I know this review I should have definitely dropped at least a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to take the time to make sure that this is definitely as good as I think it is, or whether it's as bad as I think it is. I will try and keep the review as quick as possible, but I'm definitely a major fan of the Yakuza game, so I might have to break that promise, so definitely make sure you keep it locked.
Story.
Yo, the story this time around is that of a prequel in reference to the previous Yakuza games. Instead of choosing to progress the story for characters fans have come to know and love, Sega have taken them back to 1988 to reveal some of the characters' backgrounds and stories a little more than you would have previously seen in the games. The story focuses both on Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, the former which wants to take down the Yakuza gangs whilst the latter wants to work his way back into the ranks after being expelled. Whilst I don't want to ruin the story in Yakuza 0, I must say it's definitely like all the other Yakuza games, where it's extremely deep and engaging, and with the amount of twists and turns in this particular game, this will definitely keep you on the edge of your seats.
Gameplay.
In terms of the gameplay, it's exactly the same as every other Yakuza game Sega have revealed throughout the years. You run around a popular city located in Japan and come across other gang members who are itching for a fight, and then proceed to punch, kick and throw them in a variety of ways in a classic beat-em-up fashion. The main changes are, rather than earning experience points, you do get money that you can invest into yourself, whether it be upgrading your moves or just entertaining yourself at the local adult-themed night spots. There are much more to the gameplay experience in Yakuza than just brawling, but you can mix up your fighting styles if that's what you want to do, and just beat up the rival gangs throughout the city. There are loads of mini games to keep your gameplay somewhat varied, but the combat manages to be satisfying enough to keep you engaged throughout the entire game. For me personally, the gameplay does get a little repetitive in terms of just fighting the local rival gang members, but the gameplay still is really fun and engaging at times, so I definitely do want to commend how great the gameplay still looks and feel in this particular Yakuza games, and I will say that it's a little bit better than some of the previous ones that I've played, and it's always really nice to see that Sega are continuing to refine this game.
Positives.
Moving into the positives, and one of the main draws of this franchise has and always will be the story for me personally. It is deep and dramatic and feels as if you're watching an epic movie. I also do want to compliment the gameplay, as it does feel fun just walking through the city and beating up anyone daring to challenge you. Just makes you feel so untouchable at times, and definitely adds a lot of pleasure whilst playing the game. Looking at the game from an aesthetic point of view, the game as a whole does look pretty decent on the PlayStation 4 system. I know some people have stated that the game does look like a PlayStation 3 port, and there are times when I can kind of see this with some of the textures of the building, but overall I do like the way the cutscenes and also some of the character design does appear throughout the game.
Negatives.
In terms of the negative, and I will say the main one for me personally, is the combat does end up feeling rather samey to a degree, but that definitely can be looked past after a point. Another one, while you don't need to have played the previous games to understand the story in this one, you will be missing out some of the personal aspects of the characters due to the player's lack of personal background with the series. With that being said, if you haven't played any of the previous Yakuza games, I still do feel that Yakuza 0 really excels with the introducing people to such a great franchise, and also to the extent it makes it feel like it isn't actually necessary for you to have played any of the previous games before.
Final verdict.
Yo, I guess the $1 million question, is Yakuza 0 worth buying? Well, if you follow this channel, you'll know that this has definitely been a game and also a franchise that I've always been campaigning. I feel if you haven't played any Yakuza game before this one, this is definitely the perfect excuse to jump on. Some people do call this a Japanese GTA. I personally don't like to compare the two, as they're pretty different perspectives when looking at open world games. Honestly speaking and keeping it real with you guys, I don't think that this should be a game you should be sleeping on. The story contains 15 massive chapters, There's around 100 funny and entertaining sub-stories, and one of the things that I was really blown away by was the fact that there's 2 large mini-games in the form of working in real estate and managing a cabaret club. Believe me, just these 2 elements alone could be their own game, let alone just mini-games in Yakuza 0. As I also mentioned in the review, there's loads of mini-games such as bowling, darts, RC car racing, karaoke, dancing, betting on catfights, going on dates, and so much more. There were so many times I had to ask myself, could they possibly cram any more into this game? And the answer to that was actually yes, because you can become friends with NPCs, unlocking interesting cutscenes, and visit restaurants and shops that feel so authentic. Overall, to me, Yakuza 0 demonstrates once again that a niche title such as this one is something that gamers outside of Japan well and truly want, and providing Sega keep the series going the way they are, is definitely going to stay that way. I will go as far to definitely say that this game is absolutely amazing, and while some may say that it's too early to say, I will say this is definitely contender for Game of the Year for 2017, and I know that's obviously partly down to my biasness towards the whole Yakuza series, but I'm definitely happy that we're finally getting this game on the PlayStation 4 and more people are starting to play it and buy this game. Anyway, peeps, thanks for stopping by and watching my very quick thoughts and reviews on Yakuza 0. I know it's pretty late, but at the same time I thought there's no way I could not put this video out. My aim was to try and keep the review as short as possible, and I know I have missed out quite a few other elements, but at the same time it's really hard to keep a particular game's review for this really small because it has so much to offer. I'm definitely going to aim to drop some form of gameplay videos to demonstrate just how great this game is and give you lot a little bit more detail. Let me know in the comments below if you've had the opportunity to play Yakuza 0 yet, or whether you're thinking about grabbing this game at all. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed the review, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and until next urban gameplay video, we definitely say peace out, peeps.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool urban gameplay videos.